بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
And the title of today's class is The Quran Commands Muslims to Believe and Obey the Bible. But it also repeatedly, over and over again, tells Muslims to read, believe, and preach the Bible. But it also repeatedly, over and over again, tells Muslims to read, believe, and preach the Bible. It tells you to follow the Torah. It tells you to believe the gospel. What I want to know is, if the Quran tells Muslims to follow the gospel, how come I don't see any Muslims keeping the Shabbat or the Sabbath? And recite and teach what has been revealed to thee of the book of thy Lord. None can change his words, and none wilt thou find as a refuge other than him. Didn't it just say none can change his words? None can change his word. In other words, can't nobody corrupt Allah's word. He's going to always find a way for it to be presented in the form that it is supposed to be presented in. You're going to try to say, well, he just meant the Quran. No, he didn't just meant the Quran, because we've been reading all throughout the Quran that he considers the Jewish scriptures to be his words too.
Assalamu alaikum. Again with another rendition. This is your brother Rahim coming at you, your investigator, okay, your reporter. I investigate, then I report back to the people. I've just proven the points that began in the beginning of this video, from 3010 saying that Allah was talking about the Bibles too being guarded. No, he was not. The Quran speaks of the Quran being guarded. I've just shown that. And see, he didn't read you the commentary where it even goes into saying it was just the Quran and how the Bible have been scattered all over the place and then came collectively together. I've shown you that from two different books, 2 different Qurans with the commentary. He didn't go into that. Also, another thing, he says we're supposed to be following, obeying the Bible, and it doesn't say that in the Quran. And I've shown you in the Quran the verses that says we're supposed to be following Islam. Again, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Then he goes and say we're supposed to be obeying the Shabbat or the Sabbath. And I show him, no, we don't do Saturdays. We don't do Sundays. Our Quran tells us Juma Friday. We make Salatul Juma on Friday. That's our day. And the Quran is precise in that. I've shown that. It seems like he believes in the Quran or something. So he has to take that. Okay? If he believes in the Quran so much. So I've proven these things. He must need to become a Muslim or something. Because what he's telling the people is false. I just proved that. He's talking about the Quran never said it. The Bible had errors. Your own Bible says people are going to change it with the pen and lies. And the Quran also. Men changing books. Talking about the people of the book. Then I went in and shown you the errors of the Quran. The contradictions. And then I've shown the different versions of Bible. How are you going to have one Bible with 66 books, another Bible with 73, another one with 80, then there's another one with 81? Most of the writings and texts that are in these modern day King James Bibles aren't even in the Ethiopian Bible. There's certain things they don't believe that's in the Ethiopian Bible that's not in these texts. He's not reading, and yet he calls Muslims fake. We're not studying. See, he has his little slave beside him, bobbing his head up and down to everything he say. He's like one of them jackleg, bootlicking, bucking and shoving preachers. And he's trying to talk about a little something that he's not really talking about. He's not talking about anything. He's lying. You don't know what he's talking about, especially when it comes to Quran. So I just proved it. Okay? I'm going to come with a part 3 and a part 4 that's going to bust this whole thing out. And the funny part is, I proved this on his page. He blocked me. So what I was saying, I must have been saying something right. Then I get an idiot to come behind the scenes and tell me, well, you didn't prove anything. You don't know what you're talking about. You must didn't go on his page, because I gave the errors on his pages, and that's when he blocked me. So, folks, you see it for yourself. The things that were talked about in the beginning, I proved it. And I'm going to show some other things within a couple of days. Just give me, that time frame. But this guy has no knowledge of Quran whatsoever. Okay? He's telling you things that just doesn't make sense. If we're supposed to follow and obey the law, what's the use for a Quran? Doesn't make sense. And I'm going to go into part 3 and show you intensively why the Quran came about, and just blow this guy out the frame. So with that, people, I say assalamu alaikum, and I'll be back soon.